Hey guys, welcome back to CraterMania, and I'm your host, Crater. So I'm doing a little something different today than what I've been doing usually on the channel since I started it. So as you know, if you've been following the channel, I've been doing the 500 movies in 2025, where I'm trying to watch 500 movies in 1 year. But as I've stated before in some of my past streams and videos, I'm a huge wrestling fan as well. I mean, I absolutely have a huge passion for wrestling. It's meant so much to me since I was a kid. I was about 4 years old when I got into wrestling. Um, so anyway, I wanted to do this impromptu stream because tonight is the 2025 WWE Royal Rumble. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, and hope you guys are here. I already see that my friend Kevin is in the chat, and he says that he hopes that Carl Malone shows up at number 30. That would be wild if Carl Malone showed up at number 30, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about the Rumble tonight, guys, and see what you guys think. I'm going to give some of my thoughts and predictions on what could happen tonight. Um, yeah, so I guess let's go ahead and get into it. So right now, the event has only got 4 scheduled matches. I mean, that could change. I mean, it's that's known to happen for matches to be added on last minute onto the card, or just kind of like come out of nowhere, like Randy Orton, because RKO he could show up in the Rumble tonight. Um, so the first match that's scheduled for the Rumble is a 2 out of 3 falls match for the WWE Tag Team Championship between DIY, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa, and they'll be taking on the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley, and Chris Sabin. For this match, I mean, I think DIY will probably retain. Um, So last night on SmackDown, there was kind of an interaction backstage between DIY and Tama Tonga, and Tama Tonga stated to him that he wanted the tag titles back. So that's definitely something that we could see in the future as far as a match between those two again. So I don't think that the Motor City Machine Guns are going to win the titles back tonight, but crazier things have happened. I've been wrong in the past. Um, but if I was a betting man, I'd think that DIY was probably going to retain. Um, and that should be a really good match too, because it's 2 out of 3 falls, and we haven't seen a 2 out of 3 falls match in WWE in quite some time now. So it'd really be interesting to see. I'm hopefully all these matches tonight kind of go kind of long. I know the two Rumble matches will probably go pretty long, as they always do. And then the ladder match between Cody and Kevin Owens, that should go on a while too. With 4 matches, and the start time I think is at 6 p.m. Which it'll probably go maybe about 4 hours, I would think, at least 10 o'clock tonight. Uh, so yeah, I would say all these matches should have a really good amount of time in each of them. Um, and I've watched 2 out of 3 falls matches before with the Motor City Machine Guns when they was in TNA. I think they did one with Beer Money, Robert Roode and James Storm back years ago, and their matches were always really good against one another. And and I don't think that they've ever had matches against Gargano and Ciampa as a team outside of WWE. But I know that all those guys have worked together several times in the past, whether it be like Ring of Honor or Pro Wrestling Guerrilla or something like that. A lot of the independent stuff. Those guys have known each other for like 20 years or something. So yeah, that should be a really good match, I think. Um, and I like all those guys. I think all four of those guys can really go. So they're probably going to. There's probably a good reasons why they putting that match on the Rumble tonight because they're probably going to give us a hell of a show. Probably one of the best matches of the night. So the next match on the card is Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, which is a ladder match for the undisputed WWE Championship. And both the undisputed and Winged Eagle Championship belts will be suspended above the ring. So it's kind of like WrestleMania 10 between Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon when they battled for the undisputed Intercontinental Championship because it's kind of the same story as what's going on right now, like um, Razor is like the real champion, like how Cody is the real champion, but Kevin Owens has this Winged Eagle belt, which he's claiming he's the real champion. So it's pretty much the same story between Razor and Shawn at WrestleMania 10. Um, Kevin says he wished they'd suspend him above the ring. Yeah, I would wish they would suspend you above the ring too. Um, get speared off like how Jeff Hardy did that one WrestleMania by Edge. That'd be killer. Um, so yeah, like about Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, I think that match will probably go on for a while too. Like I said, and I always enjoy seeing ladder matches, and I think this is the first time we've had a ladder match on the Rumble in several years. Or honestly, I can't. If anybody can remember, go ahead and put it in chat. Um, I can't remember the last ladder match that took place at the Rumble, uh, or if there ever was one. I mean, if there is, I've completely forgot, and my mind is drawing a blank on that. But if you guys can think of any ladder matches that's happened at the Rumble in the past, to put them in the chat. Um, so yeah, I think Cody is definitely going to retain on this. And because they're pushing a lot of stories right now surrounding Cody, outside of the Rumble stuff. This past Raw, he had this interaction with Punk in the ring at the end of the show, um, or towards the end of the show, I guess you should say. Um, and so it kind of hints at like, Punk and Cody is going to have a match somewhere down the line, whether it be an Elimination Chamber or if Punk wins the Rumble, he could face Cody at Mania. There's a lot of like options right now that they have, and this is one of those years where I have no fucking clue as what they're going to be doing. Um, like, because there's so many choices like this. Well, I'll get to this in a little bit, talking about the Rumble, but the Rumble, I'll just say this now that the Rumble this year, as far as the people that's already been announced for it, it's stacked. I mean, it's stacked to the gills right now. Like, and so it's, and Cena, I got my John Cena shirt on tonight to support him since this is his last year in professional wrestling, and he's coming back for the Rumble tonight. This will be his first match back of the year. So and he's one of the greatest. Whether you like him or you don't like him, you got to recognize that he is one of the greatest of all time. Um, to ever be in the WWE or professional wrestling, because if you just look outside of his wrestling career, he has done so much, and he's a super good guy. One of the most requested celebrities ever for Make a Wish. Um, you know, I'm not real crazy on his movies, but I like some. There's one he's in called Blockers. It's pretty funny. Um, but yeah, I mean, but it's Cena, like I said, he's a legend at this point. And this is his last year in professional wrestling, and I got to support him tonight. I got to. But back to the Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens match. Like I said, I think Cody is taking this home tonight, and he's going to go on to Mania. Who he's going to face at Mania, I have no idea right now. But this story that's been going on between Cody and Kevin Owens, I love it because I love both of these guys. And Kevin Owens is just hilarious. I've met both of these guys in person. I met Cody early last year, like in January or February of last year, after a house show in Corbin, Kentucky. And dude, he was so cool because like this is after the show, and then it was there were probably like at least 200 people at the gate. Um, Waiting for anybody to come out and meet them. And so like all the wrestlers were like leaving, getting their car and leaving. But Cody was the last one to come out. And he came out there to that gate and he took pictures and signed autographs with everybody there. And I was like, no, I was like, that's the fucking dude, man. Um, he's just so cool. And then like years ago, I went to WrestleCon in 2014 in New Orleans during WrestleMania 30 weekend, and this was before Kevin Owens had been signed to the WWE. He was finishing up his career in Ring of Honor at the time, and he was still going by his real name, Kevin Steen. And so I was a big fan of him even before he came to the WWE. And I had to meet him at that. He was super cool. I mean, super nice. Uh, one of the funniest wrestlers you'll probably ever meet. And and that humor he has kind of is displayed on TV as well because I love it when he comes out there with all the different T-shirts and stuff because he's like mocking his opponent. The Saturday night's main event, he had the Cody sucks eggs shirt as kind of a tribute to Terry Funk, and he had this match recently with Jimmy Uso, and Jimmy Uso in real life is married to Naomi, and so he in that match against Jimmy Uso, he wore one of Naomi's T-shirts. So I'm interested to what he's going to wear tonight in the match against Cody, for sure. Yeah, I think this story has been great between them. I think the whole Kevin is right like shirt that they put out and he wears. I think. I mean, Kevin Owens does have a good point about like they spent all this time fighting the bloodline, and then all of a sudden, like the there was a light switch. It just went in their head and said, "Oh, I'm going to help Roman Reigns because people like him now that he was kind of seen as a good guy or a face, over being a heel anymore because they were kind of like." Roman was kind of feuding with a new bloodline at the time, led by Solo Sikoa. Um, so yeah, I mean, like Kevin, he makes really good points in this story, and I think what it's ultimately going to lead to is they're going to turn Cody heel. And if you're not familiar with Cody's heel work, like from the independents or in Japan, I mean that's what we want to see as fans that don't care about faces, don't care about heels, just care about wrestling in general. Um, you definitely want to see Cody Rhodes as a heel because that's some of his best work that he does. Um, so I see Garrett in here from Born to Be Rad is in the chat. He says it's time. It's Crater time. That's right. And speaking of Garrett and Born to Be Rad, so if you want to check out the deadpit.com channel tonight on YouTube, we're doing a WrestleManiacs show. So it'll be me and Wes from Dead Pit and Garrett will probably be on there. So we're going to be doing that post show for the Rumble where we're going to just be talking about that. So, if you guys aren't subscribed to their channels already, Born to Be Rad, and I'll go ahead and I'll put his name back up on there on the screen again. So if you want to search that on YouTube, you can go ahead subscribe to his channel. You can go subscribe to the Dead Pit channel, where we'll be doing that post show for the Rumble. Soon following the Rumble tonight. So just you guys check that out. Um, but yeah, so Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. Like like I said, that's going to be a great match. I can't wait for that one because I love me a good ladder match. Um, already got my Red Shield Prime provided to me by Logan Paul, and I just got this last night, and this is really fucking good. If you guys like Prime and you've not tried the Red Shield Prime Ice flavor, super good, guys. But moving on, let's talk about the women's Royal Rumble match. And this is another match where I have no clue who's going to win this. I mean, I have a couple ideas. I One of the first that come to mind is Charlotte Flair. I know she's returning tonight for the women's Royal Rumble match. So I think they've kind of been teasing online if you read like the dirt sheets and stuff, that she wants a match with Tiffany Stratton at Mania. So if Charlotte wins the women's Royal Rumble match tonight, um, I really wouldn't be surprised. I know I seen a photo earlier because I've been looking at Facebook today, and a lot of people have been posting pictures that's there at the Rumble and in Indianapolis for like the WrestleCon event and stuff. I know my nephew is there. Um, 'Cause he actually sent me a picture earlier that he got to meet Matt Cardona, so I thought that was pretty cool. So and he's another guy that could show up at the Rumble tonight in the men's match. But I guess we'll see. Um, but I did see some pictures earlier of someone posted where a fan got to meet Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. So Becky is in Indianapolis tonight for the Rumble. So there's a possibility that she could show up in the Rumble too. Uh, who is your daddy and what does he do? Yeah, man, that's my dad works at McDonald's, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, um, back to the women's Rumble. So like I said, right now I guess my pick would probably be Charlotte. Um, and these comments, I swear. Um, but if I had to choose any other, I mean, I would maybe my second choice would be Io Sky because I know they've been pushing her a lot lately, and um, she had a match back at Saturday Night's Main Event against Liv, where she came close to winning the title at that time, but they were saving that for Rhea, of course, on the Netflix debut of Raw, for her to win the title back from Liv. But we could see Io back in that main event scene sometime soon too. So I guess we'll find out tonight. So I guess I'll go ahead and just mention all of the announced participants so far for the women's Royal Rumble match. So there's been 14 out of 30 entrants have been announced. So far, we have Nia Jax, Bailey, Charlotte Flair, Naomi, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Lyra Valkyria, Ivy Nile, Io Sky, Chelsea Green, Zelina Vega, Candice LeRae, and Piper Niven. So out of the ones announced, like that I had, if I had to choose it, like I said, it'd be Charlotte and Io. But I want to talk about maybe some surprise entrants tonight. Um, I see my friend Brandon is in the chat. He says that he hopes Mae Young's hand is a surprise entrant. Do you guys remember that from like years? It was like one of the Raw anniversary shows or something, I think, where it had Mark Henry and Mae Young on the show, and then like they had a reunion with their child, and there was just a guy there, and he was dressed up in this giant hand costume. Um, if I mean, just I love stupid stuff. I mean, wrestling, and that's the thing why I love wrestling. So wrestling is supposed to be dumb and fun, and it's not supposed to be taken seriously. And I every time there's something comedic or something stupid in wrestling, I love it. I absolutely love it. And that would be a good stream I could do later on, like talking about all the really dumb skits and uh really dumb skits that's been in wrestling, whether it be WWE or wherever in wrestling throughout history. I would love to talk about stuff like that. But back to the women's rumble. Let's talk about some surprise entrants. Now I'm thinking Mickey James may show up. With they have this. So WWE has this affiliation now with TNA, so they're open to use their talents uh, for the Rumble, or any of their other programming. And I think that I think Mickey James is still affiliated with TNA. So I mean, and she showed up in the past when she was the TNA Knockouts champion. She was in the Rumble a couple years ago. Um, I think what's that one chick's name that she just got signed by WWE? Jordan something. I forget her last name, but she was in the Rumble. I think last year or the year before. I can't remember what year it was. I think it was last year. So I know she just got signed to WWE, and so she could show up tonight in the Rumble as well. There may be a few other NXT women that I think. What's the Roxanne? I think she could show up. I think Cora Jade could possibly show up. Maybe a few legends. DePoet says Asuka would be yeah. Well, see, that would be a big surprise for me. I would love for Asuka is actually my favorite women's wrestler in the WWE right now. Even though she's not been on TV here lately, but I absolutely love Asuka. Um, and if she shows up to the Rumble, then I guess we'll see who's ready for Asuka. But yeah, that would be awesome to Poet. But I think some legends could possibly show. I mean, Lita and Trish, I think that they both kind of, have legends deals with the WWE. So, I mean, there's a possibility they could show up. Um, I would love to see like someone random that was a legendary women's wrestler, like Ivory or or Miss Kitty or somebody like that. Somebody from around between like the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era. Um, I know when they did like that ECW show on NXT from the ECW arena, Dawn Marie was on there, but I don't know if she's like capable of wrestling anymore. I don't know. I know like she does. She's kind of got out of the wrestling business, and she kind of doing her own thing now. Where like she sells like these like crystals and stuff, like like how like I get like people that like that set out crystals and they I don't know they the moon gives them energy or whatever. I don't really know, but I mean that I'm not knocking it. That's her thing. So when she wants to do that, that's cool. And I follow her on Facebook, and she's always doing like live shows on Facebook, trying to sell those crystals and shit. Um, but yeah, what I mean, do you guys have any other like thoughts? Who could possibly show up tonight in the women's rumble? Because right now, like I said, we only have 14 out of the 30 entrants announced, so there's still 16 people that could show up. And like I said, I think several of those would probably be like some NXT people, maybe some people from TNA, some people that haven't been there in a while, like Asuka. Like I said, Becky Lynch is there in Indianapolis at the Rumble. So I mean, she could possibly make her return tonight. Um, I don't know. I'm. It's going to be interesting for sure, and I always enjoy both the men's and the women's rumbles a whole lot. And I want to say that last year the women's rumble was actually better than the men's. Um, at least I enjoyed it a lot better than the men's. But you know, um, I guess we'll see tonight. What who if it holds up. I'm excited to see Charlotte back. Like I said, I think that's probably going to be my pick for the women's rumble. So be interesting to see what she does. So and then the main event, which I'm assuming this is going to be the main event. The undisputed title match, ladder match could end up being the main event. I don't know. They don't. Sometimes they switch it around on us, but I'm going to call it for right now. I'm going to call it the main event of the Rumble, and that is the men's Royal Rumble match. Um, right now, there's only 18 out of the 30 entrants that have been announced for the match. So we're still looking at 12 more guys that's going to be in that match. Um, and I'll go down the list here of everybody that's been announced so far. So far, we have LA Knight, John Cena, CM Punk, Jay Uso, Roman Reigns, Seth freaking Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Rey Mysterio, Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, Logan Paul, Penta, Chad Gable, Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Damian Priest, Santos Escobar, and Jacob Fatu. So right now, we've only got 18 guys, and it's already stacked to the fucking gills. Um, I mean, this is going to be a really awesome Rumble. I mean, John Cena making his return. Um, CM Punk. This is going to be his first Rumble back since getting hurt last year and not being able, because I think that was the plan too. I think last year was the plan for Punk to win, but they called an audible on that with Cody winning it again. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I mean, maybe it was the plan the whole time for Cody to win the Rumble last year again. Um, but I think Punk is probably one of my top picks this year to win the Rumble. They've been pushed him really hard. Like I said, he had that interaction with Cody this past Monday on Raw. Um, there's this whole thing between him and Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman owing this favor to Punk. So we may see what that is tonight on the Rumble. Um, I don't know, but Punk is one of my top picks to win this. Another one of my top picks is kind of a wild card because right now I think the most expected guys to win it are Punk, Cena, Roman Reigns, or even Drew McIntyre. But I don't know. I think they could go with a wild card here as one of the guys that's been pushed to the moon here lately and has probably one of the best entrance themes and entrances to the ring right now in the WWE, and that's main event Jay Uso. So he just had that match against Gunther at Saturday Night's Main Event where he came very close to winning. I mean, it was a really good back and forth match. Um, so, you know, Jey Uso could definitely win this and get his rematch against Gunther at Mania. I definitely see that happening. The poet, you said there are two champs, so you see two winners. Well, I mean, yeah, that's usually how it is. As long as there's been two belts in the past, there's the WWE Undisputed Championship, and then there's the World Heavyweight Championship. Um, you know, but the winner always gets to choose one, and that ends up being the main event. Um, so like, but they'll always come up with whoever champion that the winner chooses. They'll come up definitely with another story for someone else to face them. So I think it could come down to something like, if Jey Uso were to win the Rumble tonight and he could challenge Gunther at Mania, and then, they could come up with a story for Cody's championship if Cody retains tonight, which I think he will. And they could set that up at Elimination Chamber, like a number one contenders thing to face uh, Cody at Mania. So, and they've been advertising a lot here lately, like really pushing John Cena being an Elimination Chamber. So that's one of the reasons why I don't think Cena's going to win the Rumble tonight, because I think he's going to end up being in the Elimination Chamber match next month at the Elimination Chamber. So hi Universal. So you're new to the channel. You said you saw my live. You thought you'd check it out. Yeah, and he's got really good. The excitement for tonight is awesome. I mean, this is one of the things I've been thinking about all week. The Royal Rumble is probably my favorite WWE event that there is. I mean, I know there's been a lot of talk on like the wrestling groups on Facebook and all over the internet this week. I mean, and there's a lot of unsurety of like between all the fans out there, like what's going to happen tonight. Um, but I'm I would, if I was a betting man, like I said before, if I was a betting man, I would probably put either Punk or Jey Uso winning the Rumble tonight. That's my two picks for that. Um, but I guess we'll see. But like I said, there is only 18 of the 30 entrants that's been announced so far. So there's 12 more guys. I think that there's going to be a lot of surprises for the men's. Um, Universal, you said you were at the Rumble rehearsals this morning. So, how did you get into that? That's interesting. But like I said, let's talk about some surprises for the men's run. I mentioned earlier that my nephew is going to be at the Rumble tonight, and he was at WrestleCon earlier today, and he got to meet Matt Cardona, and that's kind of been speculated over the past couple weeks that he could be returning to WWE tonight. Whether he returns as Matt Cardona or Zack Ryder, I guess we'll see if he does in fact return. But I think that would be really. I think he would probably get a good pop too if he is one of the entrants. I would like to see him. I know there were some rumors a few weeks ago about Mick Foley entering the Rumble and Ric Flair entering the Rumble. Now, Ric Flair, I do not want to see enter this. He's Ric Flair is done. He doesn't need to be in a ring ever again, taking any kind of bumps or anything. Because that last match he had a few years ago in Nashville, the tag match where it was him and Andrade taking on Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. I mean, he about died during that match, so I can't imagine seeing him get put in a rumble and thrown over the top rope. I mean, they'd kill his ass. Um, but so I don't want to see him. But I've noticed that Mick Foley he's lost a lot of weight here lately, and he's getting himself in better shape. So if he can go, that would be cool to see him make an appearance, for sure. Uh, One person I mentioned a lot earlier, Randy Orton. I think he could return tonight, definitely for the Rumble. Um, I don't think he would be a potential winner, but like if Jey Uso were to win the match tonight and challenge Gunther, I think that's something we could a potential match we could see at Mania. If and then Orton, they could maybe set up a story between Orton and Cody for Mania. It's kind of where they have a lot of history. Um, and so I just think that would be super cool. And that leaves Punk out of the mix though. But like I said, he's got this thing with Roman Reigns too, so we could see a Punk and Roman Reigns match at Mania, because I don't think that The Rock is going to be at Mania this year. I don't think he's going to make a surprise appearance at the Rumble, but he could. Who knows? I mean, but right now, my own personal opinion, I don't think that The Rock is going to be affiliated um, with Mania this year, so he's not. I don't think he's going to have a match. So if that could leave Punk and Roman Reigns is having a match at Mania, but I guess we'll see about that as well. Um, I would love to see some other legends show up in this. How cool would it be if like Stone Cold made an appearance in this Rumble? I mean, I think he's probably done too after that last match he had with Owens. Um, but it's always cool to see Stone Cold is one of the to me he's the greatest. Stone Cold is the greatest of all time. I think. Well, I'd have to think about it. He's up there definitely. He's definitely top two, if not the greatest of all time. But it's always fun seeing Stone Cold, whether if he's just making a little minor appearance or whatever. But I think let's see who else could show up tonight. Um, I know Rob Van Dam. That would be a cool one because I know he's been kind of affiliated with WWE here lately too. That'd be super, and he could still go in the ring even at his age now. I think he would be a really cool entrant. We'll probably see a couple NXT guys like Trick Williams will probably be in it. Ethan Page is a possibility. Maybe a couple TNA guys like Joe Hendry. I know that he is like huge right now. Like he has really blew up here, like the Joe Hendry. Um, so there's a definite possibility that he could show up. Um, Universal, you said I can confirm Ric Flair will not be in the Rumble this evening. Are you his agent or something? Did he tell you that he wasn't going to be in it? Because if he did, that's killer. Um, but yeah, guys, I mean, I'm super excited for this night. They probably will let all of these matches run long, and this will probably they probably won't add any more matches if I was guessing, but they could. I think it's odd that um, neither of the secondary titles, the Intercontinental Championship or the United States Championship, they don't either one of those have a match on the card tonight. Now I know that Shinsuke Nakamura, uh, the U.S. champion, he was announced for the Rumble, so there's that, and Braun Breaker, since he'll definitely probably be in the Rumble. Well, no, he is. I forgot. I just seen looked at the list again. He's already been announced, so he did announce himself for that. Um, and then Gunther doesn't have a match, so he's not going to be on the. I don't see him being in the Rumble, so um, I don't know, but I could be wrong. Maybe he wants to show up in the Rumble, and that way he can challenge for the WWE Championship, and he can walk around with two belts. I think it's really cool that Penta is in it. Penta just came to WWE, and he's only been on there like a few weeks, and he's already blew up. I think that this is probably the biggest thing to ever happen in his career, because the guy has wrestled in Mexico. He's been on he's in Lucha Underground. He was in AEW, um, and I think like that debut match that he had against Chad Gable is probably the biggest like pop that he's ever had in his entire career. I mean, he's over like a Rover right now for sure. So I'm really excited to see what he can do in the Rumble tonight. Because I think he's going to be he's going to end up being that guy that's going to be like the new Rey Mysterio. Because Rey Mysterio, I think, is getting close to the end of his career, and Penta is going to replace him and all that. Um, but yeah, so what do you guys think? Do you guys have any predictions? Who you think is going to win the men's rumble or the women's rumble, or who's going to win between Cody and Kevin Owens? Who's going to win the match between DIY and Motor City Machine Guns? What kind of surprises do you think will show up tonight? Um, I mean, I guess we shall see. But like again, guys, I just want to mention before I go. Um, Thank you. First of all, thank you for joining me here on this live stream, and all you guys in the chat. I really appreciate you guys. Um, and if you have the time tonight after you watch the Rumble, uh, go over to Dead Pit's channel, and we will be doing a WrestleManiacs post show where we'll be talking about the Rumble and everything that's going to happen tonight. So I'd really appreciate you guys if you check that out, and subscribe to the Dead Pit channel if you can as well. So I guess that's it for me, guys. I will see you guys later tonight on the Dead Pit channel for WrestleManiacs, and thank you again for watching CraterMania. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That would help me out a lot, and I will talk to you guys later, and I love you guys.